Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I'm continuing my playthrough of the Mortal Kombat 11 DLC story mode, Aftermath. This will be episode number 4 of that playthrough, and I'll be picking up in a chapter featuring, well, you'll see here in a moment. But prior to now, I had previously finished up the Fujin chapter, and in that chapter, we actually got a great deal of development for the DLC story. So, in a nutshell, the Time Titan Kronika completely screwed up time and her crazy plot before Liu Kang killed her. But unfortunately, Liu Kang also destroyed her crown, which is needed to correct all of time, so he went ahead and sent a few people back in time to try and get the crown before it is destroyed and before he kills Kronika. Those people were Shang Tsung, Fujin, and Nightwolf. Now, that trio went ahead and resurrected Sindel as well because they needed somebody else to help them because they were going to be facing off against an elder god, and the three of them by themselves would not be quite enough to defeat her. And Sindel has a pretty good track record against pretty much everybody, so that seemed like a pretty good choice. So once the other team fully formed, they went to Shang Tsung's island where the crown was being held, and they went ahead and recovered it, defeating Cetrion, the elder god, defeating Noob Saibot, defeating the Revenant Jade and the Revenant Cabal, and then also recruiting the Elder Jax. So yeah, all in all, things went really well. And by the time the chapter ended, Fujin went ahead and told Raiden and the other protagonists what's going on, and after a little bit of convincing, they agreed to work together, and they even managed to repel Kronika's attack against them, so everything is looking pretty good. So, since everything seems to be in their hands now and everything looks like it's going to be successful, what conflict do we have to look forward to next? Well, we will see as we go ahead and pick up the perspective of Sindel.
We will rendezvous at the Isle of Kronika. The fools believe victory is at hand. Their misplaced confidence will be their demise.
Such a pity my daughter embraces their sentimental values.
Having second thoughts, Sindel.
Hardly. Kitana courts a peasant and obeys the Thunder God. She couldn't be a bigger disappointment.
One can only imagine. The Isle. Do not be late. An eternal empire awaits you.
Enter. Kitana Khan.
Don't be so formal, Mother.
You are Khan Kitana. Command the awe of your subjects, even me. Oh, I shall never tire of greeting you.
Nor will I tire of calling on you. Our battalion is leaving for the Sea of Blood. Queen Sheeva and the shaokhan will follow as rear guard.
May I request something?
Mother, you don't have to... Make your request.
Sheeva, Queen Sheeva, risked everything to restore me. Honor demands that I accompany her into battle.
Yes, it does. And that display of loyalty is sure to rally the shaokhan's spirits.
Thank you, Kitana Khan.
Doesn't know when to quit. Let's finish him.
Wife, it's you.
Hush, husband. I'm here. The soul chamber will heal your wounds. Then we'll discipline Kitana and take back our throne.
Empress? Tell me I misheard. Tell me you would not betray your daughter.
She takes after her father, Sheeva. Jared was a weak king. Kitana is a weaker Khan.
Weak? She defeated Shao Kahn.
Yet she lacked the resolve to kill him. Now she will learn. Enemies must be crushed, lest they rise again.
That was true once. But now there is a better way to lead.
Fight!
Just like that, the Outworld prison system fails to maintain control over yet another prisoner. Like, seriously, do these jails hold anyone whatsoever? Like, let's really think about that for a second. We'll go all the way back to Mortal Kombat 9. While imprisoned in Outworld, Sonya Blade got away, Kitana ended up getting away. Oh, and Jax also got away whenever he was on Shang Tsung's island, which is kind of an extension of Outworld in a way. Oh, and Cabal, whenever he was being operated on, he got away. And let's see here, I'll even go ahead and throw in Cyber Sub-Zero because he was under the control of Outworld and was eventually, freed by the other allies. And then he was used as an insider threat against the Outworld people, so yeah, we'll go ahead and throw him in there too. He escaped, so that's 5 people who escaped in Mortal Kombat 9. And then in the very last game, it's implied that Melina was broken out of jail, and then also the combat kids, Takeda, Cassie, Jackie, and Kung Jin, they all escaped the Outworld jail as well. So right there we have 5 more people who broke out of the Outworld prison system, so we're up to 10. And that brings us to here in Mortal Kombat 11, where we also had Kotal Khan captured at one point, only to be broken out. Towards the very beginning of the game, the Collector was imprisoned and about to be executed, then he got away. And now here we have Shao Kahn being broken out by Sindel, so that's at least 3 people. I'm probably missing a few on this list as well, but that's 13 people who have been broken out or escaped from an Outworld prison. And that's just in 3 games. The prison system here truly, truly sucks. Oh wait, no, I did forget about one in this game, because whenever Kotal Khan was captured, he was not captured alone. That was because of his fight with Jade. So at one point, Jade was also captured and being held by the Tarkatans, which... not directly in the prison system like all these other characters, but she was being held prisoner in Outworld, so I'm still going to count it. So yeah, we'll go ahead and add Jade to the list, and that means 14 people have been broken out or escaped from the prison system in Outworld. You may as well call it Arkham Asylum because it's not holding anyone.
Elder gods tremble before me, Sheeva. What hope did you have? Kitana murdered your shaokhan brethren. Sheeva challenged her and suffered this punishment. Swear your allegiance, and I shall see her avenged.
Avenged? Wait, did we just kill Sheeva? That's an anticlimactic death.
Wife, I have missed you. If Quan Chi were here, I'd hoist him by the ankles and split him through. For all the time he stole from us.
Soon we will have the hourglass. Eternity will be our empire.
We'll have all the time we need.
Shao Kahn, Sindel, come with me. Kronika has need of you.
Kronika? Where was she when Kitana stole my throne? We'll make a joke on her empty promises.
And we get a choice. I'm going to go with Shao Kahn on this one.
Observe, wife,
as I disassemble this construct.
Nothing would please me more.
Do not invoke Kronika's wrath, Shao Kahn. Fear that gold-plated relic? Ha! I'll pulp you and send you back to her in jars. Fight.
So here is something I did not know when going into the Aftermath DLC. I knew for a fact that Sindel would be playing a part in the story, so I assumed that she was going to have a chapter of her own. I was very confident of that. That was the only other villain I knew for sure that was going to be involved. That is, other than Shang Tsung anyway. What I did not realize was that her chapter would be shared with Shao Kahn, where you can make some choices at some points, and you could be him instead. Had I have known that, I might not have used Shao Kahn for the intro of one of my videos and the outro of the same video, actually. Reason being that normally my intros and outros are reserved for characters you either don't get to play as or just do nothing but lose in the story mode. Had I have known that Shao Kahn was going to have some time to shine, I might have went with somebody else, but that's alright. That just means that I'm actually somewhat familiar with this character. So no practice mode needed here, so whenever I get the opportunity... You know what? I was going to say whenever I get the opportunity, I'm just going to go ahead and select Shao Kahn, but no, that's not fun. What I'll do, since this chapter started off with Sindel, and I'm now using Shao Kahn, I'll just go on a rotation. So the next fight will be Sindel, then the one after that's going to be Shao Kahn, and I'm just going to continue bouncing back and forth until the chapter is over. That way we get a good mixture of both of the characters.
Do you enjoy this?
That's cool and all, but he has died so many times that we all know he's just going to come back.
1,000 years, and you haven't lost a step.
Now Shao Kahn turns against us.
Perhaps we should send the fleet.
No. Shao Kahn and Sindel have unwittingly given us back the advantage. Their army will battle Raidens for possession of my crown, weakening them both.
Then we crush what remains of them with strength to spare.
The crown once again will be mine. When it is, the new era will begin.
Captain Cage reporting for duty, sir. Ma'am.
Whoa there, 90s dad. You've already got one bullet wound too many.
I'm healed, Cassie. Raiden gave me one of his Thunder Hands massages. Speaking of, where is Mama Bear?
She's over there, waiting for Sheeva at the rendezvous. But we cast off in 5. Where are they?
fine trophy for my arena.
We doing this by gender, or is that sexist?
Just zip it and try not to die.
Enough prattle, fools. You will bow and serve the Empire.
Make us, you authoritarian asshole.
All right, Sindel, you're up.
I want her. A fearless gladiator like you would entertain well in our arena. Until your death, of course.
Mom used to say, death smiles at everyone, but the Blade women, we smile back.
Fight.
All right, this rotation between Sindel and Shao Kahn should be a fun one. Keep things interesting as I play through this chapter. Although I'll definitely admit that I know Shao Kahn way more than I do Sindel. I did manage to practice with her once I realized her chapter was coming up, but even after some practice, I'm not really that good with Sindel, so I'm sure I'll be fine, but it's definitely safe to expect that I may struggle with Sindel a little bit, especially when compared to how I do with Shao Kahn. But fortunately, the difficulty of these fights, even though it's medium difficulty, has not been all that hard. If anything, I probably could have bumped it up a difficulty and it wouldn't have made that much of a difference and things have been just a little bit more competitive. But that's alright. As it is, I'm getting through these fights pretty quickly and I'm keeping these episodes at a pretty reasonable length, so I'm alright with that. And just as I was saying that the difficulty for this playthrough has been pretty simple and easy so far, that's the exact moment when I start to not have anything going my way against Cassiecage. Like, I have not been able to get anything started against her in this second round of this fight. And now I'm at about 30% since I'm in Fatal Blow territory, so that's not great considering she has most of her health remaining. And now I'm thinking to myself, have I lost a single round throughout the entire playthrough of Aftermath? Because I don't think I have. So this could potentially be the very first one. Alright, both of our Fatal Blows are active, so this one could go either way. And I land my Fatal Blow. Alright, the streak will continue. I most likely have not lost a single round throughout Aftermath, and it's not going to start now. We're going to win this match, and we're going to be moving on to the next fight of the chapter. Hell yeah.
Not smiling anymore, are we? The poor man is heartbroken.
Why waste tears on weaklings?
Those women are braver and stronger than 50 of you put together. Okay, bozos. No jokes, no gimmicks, just combat. You wanna get nuts? Oh, let's get nuts!
How many of his bones shall I break for you, wife?
Surprise me.
Twice you fought in the tournament, and twice you failed. Why Raiden thought you a contender baffles me. Fight.
Alright, Shao Kahn is tagged into the match, so we'll be taking over him and facing our friend johnnycage. Only, well, not our friend in this chapter. Which is a good point, actually. Maybe it was the last episode, or maybe it was one a little bit older than that. But one of the things I said I was hoping for with the Aftermath story was that it would highlight more of the villain characters, since they very rarely ever get highlighted in one of these story modes. Like the standard story mode for Mortal Kombat 11 barely featured any of them. And the ones it did feature are kind of debatable. Like you had Scorpion, the young Scorpion, who had been a villain the entire story mode, but we took him over after he decided to have a change of heart and become a hero. So, loosely a villain? But beyond that, we don't really control a character who was at any point a villain in the story, at least not that I'm remembering. But instead here in the Aftermath DLC, so far we've gotten Sindel, Shao Kahn, and we've gotten Sheeva, which she may not necessarily be a villain to this story, but traditionally throughout Mortal Kombat history she has been a villain, so I'm still going to count it. And since all of the main trio who started off the entire story mode for Aftermath, being Fujin, Nightwolf, and Shang Tsung, also get chapters, we eventually have Shang Tsung to look forward to. So yeah, that's 4 villain chapters. And none of those characters have ever had chapters in story modes before, so this is all new territory, which is pretty nice.
Was that your best? Excellent dump its cargo. We need speed to overtake Charon's fleet.
Raiden and Fujin have gone ahead to storm the Isle. But we've lost all contact with our rear guard. Commander Cage and the Special Forces, Queen Sheeva and the Shokan, and Mother.
I am just going to say what we are all thinking.
She did not betray us.
Let's not jump to conclusions. Look!
Is that the Special Forces?
No. Elder gods damn you, Mother.
Kill each other.
Where is Kitana?
No doubt the little princess is hiding.
Nobody is hiding, Shao Kahn. Not after your epic failure at the Colosseum. That belongs to me, Sindel.
Have it.
I hope you have more than that for the heir of the great kunglao.
Okay, I have to break the rotation for this one. I'm going with Shao Kahn.
He and I have unfinished business.
I'll find Kitana.
It's a pity the Time Merger disrupted the tournament. I was about to snap your neck.
Why? Because you were afraid to face me head-on?
I fear nothing, monk. Fight.
So yeah, originally this was going to be a Sindel fight based on the rotation, but I could not resist. After all, this is a grudge match, seeing that Shao Kahn was the one who killed Kung Lao in the old timeline, so I could not find it within myself to deny them this opportunity for a rematch. Or just a match, I guess, because Shao Kahn did snap the neck of Kung Lao previously without them ever actually fighting. Kung Lao's back was turned. So now it is time to see what that fight would have looked like had it actually gone down. Which, seeing as we're controlling Shao Kahn, I'm assuming that means it's not going to go so well for Kung Lao. Better luck next time, I guess. Oh, and I mentioned something earlier that was not entirely accurate. Actually, I'm going to backtrack on that one a little bit. I was specifically saying how none of the villain characters highlighted in Aftermath have ever had a chapter before in a story mode. One of those characters has had a chapter before, and that was Shang Tsung back in the DC vs. Mortal Kombat. But no one remembers that story mode, so... But that's alright by me. This is going to be a much more memorable chapter for Shang Tsung. But yeah, like I was saying, what I looked forward to was the possibility that more villains would get some time to shine, and so far they certainly have. I am very happy with that.
You're a disgrace to your line. Kunglao, snapping your neck would be too easy for you. Tell me, did your masters teach you to swim?
Come, Kitana awaits.
What spell has Shao Kahn used on you this time?
Naive girl. Your mother is not bewitched. She never has been.
She had a husband and a kingdom, and you took them away!
Oh, Kitana. My first husband, your father, was a fool. Jared believed that we were no better than commoners. He refused to assert the privileges of our throne. He traded away our powers, our divine rights. Edenia grew weak and vulnerable. Then Shao Kahn invaded, embracing his power, taking what was his. Here was a man unashamed to assert his privilege, and who vowed to protect mine. I had found my true love, and to consecrate our bond, I killed Jared for him.
You love Shao Kahn more than your own daughter?
Let the women be, chosen one. You owe me combat.
You should have stayed dead.
Please, that wounds me, daughter.
I am prepared to do much worse.
Fight.
All right, seeing what matchup came next, I am actually quite happy I switched up the order a little bit. Shao Kahn versus Kunglao was a super appropriate fight, and since I went out of order, that means we get Sindel versus Kitana, which is yet again a very super appropriate fight. In fact, something kind of interesting about this one, this is the first canonical fight between Kitana and her evil mom, besides the cutscene where Kitana was killed back in Mortal Kombat 9. This is the first real fight. And it's kind of odd and interesting because Sindel's been playable, thanks to this DLC, 5 times out of her 6 appearances in the story modes for any of the Mortal Kombat games. I'm saying story modes kind of loosely because, like, Mortal Kombat 3 didn't really have a story mode, just arcades, and she was playable, but she's in it. And out of all of those games, the 6 games where she was in it, she has been evil in 4 of them. The only times when she was not evil was back in Mortal Kombat Deception and Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And it's just kind of odd that as close as these 2 characters are, whenever she is evil in 2/3 of the games that she is in, these 2 have never fought each other before. So this is a super overdue matchup, and I'm loving it. The only downside for Kitana is, yet again, we are controlling Sindel, which more often than not means that it's going to be a decisive victory for Sindel. Very rarely does anyone actually end up losing, even whenever they win the fight in their chapter. Although, it is not impossible for that to happen. In some cases, you end up winning the fight in that chapter, and then in the cutscene, you end up losing anyway. In fact, that happened in this game whenever we had Scorpion's chapter. In Scorpion's chapter, we beat Raiden, but then in the cutscene, we're getting our ass kicked by Raiden, so no one is safe even when they win.
Learn or be punished, child.
Kitana was a false Khan, a traitor to Outworld. She conspired with Raiden to lead you astray.
He seeks Kronika's power. Why? To destroy the Empire. All who followed Kitana are complicit in her treason. Your sentence is death.
But we will grant clemency now and riches in the new era to all who renounce Kitana and fight under our command.
Now man the oars. We have a battle to win. For the new era. Kitana shall be put in chains. Let her suffer the anguish of defeat. And what of him?
I will go ahead and end the episode here, as after this we will be transitioning into what is technically the final chapter of the game. So, what happened in this episode? Well, we took control of Sindel initially, and she revealed that she was not on the hero side after all. She was only helping them to, well, help herself. And she was contributing to a larger plot where Shang Tsung intends to betray the hero characters. So the first thing Sindel does as soon as she has the freedom to move about the area is she goes down to the prison area and she frees Shao Kahn. Not only does she free him, but she takes him to the soul chamber and heals him. After that, they go on a bit of a tear and they defeat several different hero characters throughout their adventures into the Netherrealm. And once they are in the Netherrealm, they take one of the ships and they catch up to the rest of the armed forces heading over to Kronika's Keep. They then take control over those, and they end up defeating Liu Kang, Kitana, and a lot of the other heroes as well. In doing so, they establish full control over the Outworld forces, who then begin to side with the new main people in charge, that being Shao Kahn and Sindel. So next up, they are going to be raiding the keep themselves, and they're going to be causing all kinds of trouble in the final episode of the playthrough of the Aftermath DLC. But before I conclude the episode, I felt like pointing out something I find just a little bit funny. So one thing that happened in these battles on the ships was that Shao Kahn faced off against kunglao, and kunglao, well, he lost. And after that, Shao Kahn went ahead and threw kunglao into the Sea of Blood. You can see that in this clip right here. I want you to notice something. Kunglao's hat falls off and stays on the boat. Besides that, though, kunglao ends up in the sea. Now, why point out that the hat remains on the boat and kunglao is in the sea? Well, I'm going to show you another clip right here. And in this clip, you will see that kunglao has the ability to teleport wherever his hat is. So I find it really funny that his hat remained on the ship, he went into the water, and the whole time he could just teleport right back onto the boat. Granted, that does not happen, but I do find it funny that it is technically something he can do but does not do. And he just gets, stuck, potentially drowning in the Sea of Blood. Only the thing is, I know for a fact he does not drown in the Sea of Blood. I'm not going to give anything away, mostly because it's not, super important to the story, but the Revenant Kunglao would no longer exist if his younger self died. And here's just one little image, no context, one little image. He is in the next episode. So the younger kunglao did not die from this experience. So he must be an amazing swimmer. And he is still out there just struggling in the Sea of Blood. Geez, what an unfortunate bastard. Then again, maybe I'm wrong and he did remember he could teleport and he managed to finally do it and managed to land all the way back on the boat. And he just passed out from exhaustion from almost nearly drowning for an hour. But yeah, I don't know if this was some sort of a storytelling inconsistency and they just kind of forgot about the rules, or if this is actually a hint that maybe he's still alive out there somewhere. Just thought it was a funny detail. Anyway, I'll stop ranting. I'll go ahead and wrap everything up here. Thank you for watching this episode, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to check out some of the other stuff I have on the Thor's Entertainment channel. I do have other playthroughs of other Mortal Kombat story modes, and I also have gameplay from my time online in the Combat League for Mortal Kombat 1. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. Take care, and I will see you next time.